Good afternoon. Steve Campbell here, president of Cornerstone Wealth Advisor Group in Fishersville, Virginia. Been a while since I've had a message. All my fault. Tyler's been asking me to do a video, but this is our busiest time of the year. And I want to talk to you today about how emotions can be your friend in some areas of your life, but not necessarily as an investor. And, this is an election year. And frankly, as I speak, today is February the 13th, day before Valentine's Day. And the market is selling off big time today. And it's selling off because inflation has ticked back up, which some of my clients have told me, obviously, Steve, you don't shop because things are costing us more, gasoline's costing more. I mean, I did see that. But, and so the market's selling off. People are really worried about this is an election year. This election is going to determine the fate of the United States forever, and which, I think everybody has an opinion. And but when I talk about emotions, I think one of the things, there's two things I want to talk about today. One is a desperate need to create an investment policy statement. So you might be asking, what's an investment policy statement? If you were a company and you had a pension plan where the employees didn't have to put any money in that pension plan, but as the company, you were going to invest that money on behalf of the employees to guarantee them a lifetime income. But now, mind you, these things rarely exist anymore. They do exist with the government. But if you were managing the pension of a major corporation, whoever you invest that money with, you're going to have a well-defined investment policy statement. One of the first things of an investment policy statement, frankly, is the amount of money that you're going to contribute into the stock market versus the bond market versus, say, private equity versus mortgage loans, versus real estate, maybe even gold and precious metals. And you're going to have a written statement that says company ABC will invest for its employees' pension plan the following percentages of their assets. This much in stocks, this much in bonds, this much in real estate, this much in gold, and all the asset classes. And then maybe the next part of that investment policy statement, any changes in the asset allocation must be approved by the investment committee. And that company may have an investment committee of 12 people. And the investment committee meets quarterly, but any changes in the asset allocation can only be made once a year and has to have the approval of at least 75% of the investment committee. Now, what does that do for that particular company? They are not going to be victims of extreme fear if the stock market crashes. And I mean crashes as in 50%. In other words, the goal of the investment policy statement for a major corporation is we can't afford to make big mistakes. Well, if that's the case for a big company pension plan, do you think that rule would apply to your retirement? We can't afford to make a big mistake? Of course it does. And to have an investment policy statement that you and your financial advisor negotiate, or with someone who you're accountable for, if you're a person who does your own management of your funds, it's rules to protect yourself from yourself. The next thing is how much money will I put away for my retirement? Well, maybe it would be good to know how much you need to put away for your retirement. When people buy a car, what do they want to know? What the car cost? Nope. How much down? Nope. They only want to know one thing. What's my monthly payment? So for me to know how much I should put away in my retirement, then we should probably do some long-term planning. Even if you're 30 years old, you want to look at today. If I were retiring today in 2024 and I needed $4,000 a month to retire on, how much does that equate to 40 years from now or 35 years from now? How much will $4,000 a month mean that I need per month to live on in 35 years? Well, you could assume that inflation is going 35 years. You could assume that your cost of living is going to double twice. So from 4,000 to 8,000 to 16,000 a month. Then I want to know, is Social Security going to be around? And if so, how much will my Social Security benefit be? We deduct that from that amount, and we come up with an amount that we need in our retirement fund. And I laughingly tell teenagers today that graduate from high school, assume you're going to need $4 million to retire in 50 years at age 68. If you're 18 years old and you retire and you graduate from high school, you're going to need $4 million in your account. And if they're smart, they would ask me, Mr. Campbell, how much is that per month? It's amazing how much money you could put away if you know how much you need. And maybe that $4 million for 40 years, or 50 years, is $368 a month, or maybe it's $520 a month. If I know that, then I am committing to that. Maybe I can't do $520 a month right out of high school or right out of college, but I know that's what I've got to average. An investment policy statement doesn't give you the privilege of suspending your contributions. The investment policy statement, which is written out, hammered out, negotiated, is when you are of sound mind. And when the market goes down, very few people are of sound mind when the market's going down and everybody thinks the world's coming to an end. And that's one part. So how much we're going to put away for retirement, where are we going to invest that money? I make it simple for individuals. If you're 18 years old or you're 22 years old or you're 30 years old, you want to invest your money 100% in stocks 100% of the time, and don't think about it. Either put it in the S&P 500 or you put it in the total stock market index, which could be large cap stocks, mid cap stocks, and small cap stocks. Investment policy statements are meant for 2024 because there are going to be a lot of people who are going to be very scared once we get to September, October, and November. If this guy is elected president, the world's going to end. If this criminal is going to be elected, the world's going to end. The world is going to continue to go on, and hopefully our electorate will make a wise choice when we elect our president this year. But let me just say this when it comes to emotions. We are in control more about what we accumulate in life and our savings and investment program than any president is going to dictate. I cannot tell you that even more strongly. I mean, you go back, I am 70 years old now, which means my first year to vote was 1972. And actually it wasn't, it was 1976. I didn't turn 18 years old until December of 72, and the election had already happened. My first election was Jimmy Carter versus Gerald Ford. And we survived Jimmy Carter. We had Ronald Reagan for 8 years, and George Bush for 4 years, and Bill Clinton for 8 years, and George W. Bush for 8 years, and so on and so on. And in good times and in bad times, people made money. And so an investment policy statement, I cannot urge you any stronger about investing money in 2024 is don't let your emotions kill your retirement. And it could happen. So if you would like help from our firm, Cornerstone Wealth Advisor Group, we are located in the very heart of Fishersville, Virginia, 540-942-1703. You can listen to us on WSVA every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. Until 8 a.m. And we talk about relevant subjects, about money, about retirement, about things not to do. And but we would love to sit down with you to help you develop your investment policy statement if you need help, and us helping you create a financial plan. Whether you ever invest any money with us, we'd be glad to help you with that at no cost. So give us a call, and we'll be back talking to you soon about something that is very relevant to a Christian believer in as an investor, and it's whether we're going to invest our money to honor God.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA and SIPC. Cornerstone Wealth Advisor Group is a separate entity from LPL Financial. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. During this segment, we may discuss specific investments. These discussions are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific